Tokyo, crowded subways and cluttered streets, fused with neon chaos. Business-like order and efficiency. Ancient traditions rubbing shoulders with the ultra-modern. 35 million people packed more densely than anywhere else on the planet. You can close your eyes and dream about life in the future, or you can visit Tokyo. Tokyo, the capital of Japan, is the frantic hub for a nation of 126 million. From the outside, this city is a confusing maze of contradictions and surprises. A cultural blender mixing obsessions with the West with ancient traditions of the East to create a city like no other. This megalopolis continues to push the boundaries in every direction. The boundaries of modern technology, of lifestyle, fashion, transport, and good taste. And it takes all types to live here. It's a city energized by its people. And if you know who to talk to, Tokyo will treat you to the ride of your life.
It's fantastic, it's stimulating, it's inspirational, it's fast, it's so fast, it's ever so fast.
120 beats per minute, 24 hours a day. We'll take you inside the hottest night spots. You'll get to shop with someone else's money at the ritziest boutique in Asia. You'll also get a sneak preview of the next big thing in 21st century cell phone technology. We'll reveal the secrets of pachinko, a Japanese obsession that rivals the Las Vegas Strip. Fads, fashion, and fun as only the Japanese know how. Driven by its huge population and frenzied economy, Tokyo is constantly under construction. Few buildings are older than 25 years. The result is a cityscape that can feel like the set of a science fiction film, and that's because it often is. The streets of Tokyo inspired the sci-fi classic Blade Runner, especially the frenetic neon of the Shinjuku area. With their wealth and independence, it's the youth of Tokyo who drive a lot of the economy and create much of the city's color. On the streets of Shibuya, young men and women sit in the economic hot seat with a pair of hot pants. Often living with their parents, with a high income and few financial commitments, they prowl the streets poised to throw their paycheck at the latest fashion fad. Big business is only too happy to comply. One of the biggest impacts they've had on Tokyo's economy is their use of cell phones. In Japan, they're called keitai, which means to carry. Fashion meets function. No one uses cell phones like the Japanese do. And when it comes to new technology, Tokyo leaves the rest of the world behind. Listen to this. There are 65 million cell phones operating in Japan. That's more than half the country. Conducting business and social life in Tokyo is unimaginable without one. For a start, you'd never find your friends. Then there's the internet use. 40 million phones are connected to the net. Everywhere you look in Tokyo, people are staring at their handheld screens, using email, shopping, playing games, getting the news. And here's their secret. The whole success of email and other internet phone functions is driven not by high-powered businessmen, but by teenage girls. Not only can they punch text into a keypad faster than any other human on the planet, their huge usage rate pushed the phone companies to expand services and get the rest of the country online. Most cell phones now double as digital cameras. Don't bother phoning your friend from Disneyland. Send them a photo. In Tokyo, the buzzword in fashion is Harajuku. It's not a designer label, it's a district. The place to see some of the wildest, eye-popping fashion in the world. No rules, no limits, and every Sunday the street becomes a catwalk. Writer-photographer Mayu Kanamori has documented the fashion movement for years. She's an authority on all things Tokyo.
Japan is a conformist country, as you know. So they say. We're supposed to be homogeneous, we're supposed to all dress the same, we all have black hair, we have brown eyes. You know, but the truth of the matter is we are individuals and we're trying to escape from this at the same time. And it is a way for us to express our individuality, especially on Sundays, because maybe for the rest of the week we will be dressed as conservative and conformist as any other time.
From Gothic brides to punk puppy dogs, it's a celebration of creativity. The raw materials for these incredible displays are for sale in nearby Takashita Street. It's a raucous, vibrant jumble of fashion and music shops, platforms to double your height, bondage gear, punk paraphernalia, freaky fads. This is one of the global engine rooms of youth fashion. Dress-up decisions made here soon echo through the city streets of the world. Japan is the most densely populated nation on Earth. 500 people cram into every square mile. It's more tightly packed than India and 10 times more crowded than the United States. In Tokyo, space is everything. It's rare, it's expensive. This is the largest concentration of people in the world. Kayoichi Tezuki is an artist and writer who has been documenting styles of Tokyo living for years.
City apartments like Tokyo, and especially Tokyo, is really high density place, and there are so many small apartments like in so-called studios, like just one room.
Typical of these one-room apartments is the home of Satako, a young journalist. It has one main room with tatami mats on the floor. By day, it's a living area, and by night, the bed rolls out. The size isn't a problem because most of her living is done out in the city.
You don't have to have like a nice dining room, no. Instead, you have your friend's restaurant or a cafe just over there, no. You don't have to have a large place to live comfortably.
Tokyo has one of the lowest crime rates in the world. Low unemployment, tough law enforcement, zero tolerance, and tight gun controls have made a big difference in the way people like Satako live.
It's basically very safe, no? Young girl can walk around at night without any kind of difficulties. Safe means you don't have to pay much for security, no? That means you can live in cheap apartments rather safely. Because if you live in New York in very cheap apartments, you have to pay a lot for your safety. These factors make Tokyo really, unique in a way.
Saving space enters a new dimension in the Capsule Hotel. These are the world's tiniest rooms for rent. It's not quite a motel for munchkins, nor is it the MGM Grand. These cramped quarters are made for a short stay, mostly used by exhausted businessmen when it's too late and too far to commute home. Inside are all the basic accessories you need: radio, TV, alarm, and a clean, comfortable bed. Once the shutters are down, it's remarkably restful. You can even reserve it for a nap during the day. Next morning, a crumpled worker can pick up a fresh shirt and tie, then rush off for another long day at the office. And the secret here is, these tiny rooms are an option for the budget traveler. They're around $40 a night. A room in a major hotel would be 10 times that amount. But there is a catch. Most of these capsule-style hotels are strictly for men only. Housing Tokyo's millions is one problem, getting them from home to work is another one altogether. It's a problem that has produced a solution of perfect Japanese order, technology, and efficiency: the incredible Tokyo subway system. Each morning, 8 million people commute into central Tokyo. Human sardines pushing the subway network to the limit. But listen to this. Even though these trains are jammed at twice their capacity, they still run almost 100% on time, even during peak hour. It is the world's most complex and efficient system of public transport.
If the train does run late for some reason, this train staff actually gives you a note so you can take it to your boss to prove it that you were late because of the trains. Otherwise, your bosses won't believe you.
And to encourage the use of public transport, companies actually pay for their workers' commuting costs. Train turns up every 90 seconds. Every carriage bursting at the seams. Over 3,000 on board each train. So when is a subway car full? In Tokyo, they will always find room for one more, even if that one needs a little helping hand from the white-gloved platform guard. The end of the line for most commuters is the mind-boggling maze of Shinjuku, the busiest train station in the world. More than 2 million people crowd through here every day, en route to the towering office blocks nearby. In the morning rush hour, there's only one way to be walking at the station entrance. That's out and downtown. Try and swim against this human river, and you'll soon find yourself swept away. With so many people pouring in and out of Tokyo subway stations and the general mass of humanity on the streets, just meeting a friend becomes a considerable challenge. The place to meet and be seen in Tokyo is outside Shibuya Station.
One of the most hip places in Tokyo is Shibuya. Once we meet in Shibuya, there's many, many cinemas and places, restaurants, nightclubs, fashion houses. Shibuya, and also shoppings. There's a lot of department stores there as well. So Shibuya is one of the places that caters for everybody's taste.
The most popular place to wait for a friend is by this statue of a dog called Hachiko. faithful dog waited for him here for 10 years. Now thousands of people wait with him every day. A quick call on the trusty cell phone is usually needed to home in on your buddy. And once you've met up at Hachiko, you have to stick tight to your friend. You'll soon be washed over Shibuya Crossing. This is the world's busiest pedestrian crossing. 1,500 people cross on every light change. Up to 250,000 people walk across here a day. Funnily enough, even in a crowd this size, it's easy to spot the tourist. Some stand out more than others. It's an hour before dawn in Tokyo. While outside most of the city still sleeps, the world's biggest fish market is open for business. This is the Tsukiji Fish Markets. It's as busy as the Wall Street Stock Exchange in here. And wait till you hear the figures these guys are throwing around. A single bluefin tuna is worth around $10,000, and they're selling by the hundred. About 3,000 tons of fish are sold here each morning. That's $20 million worth of seafood, a mouthful in anyone's language. Needless to say, the Japanese love their fish. They eat 1/6 of the world's fish catch. And most of that comes through here. It's destined for the 140,000 food outlets in Tokyo. Once the auction bell rings, just watch the fish fly. The fish are sold in lots to the highest bidder. That's the way it is in many countries. But you've never seen an auction like this one. It's worth getting up before dawn just to see this. These days, frozen fish can be flown in from around the world. This tuna was swimming off the coast of Boston only 24 hours ago. This morning, it sold for $10,000. By tomorrow's end, it will all be eaten. And here's a little-known secret. When in Tokyo, it's best not to order sushi on a Wednesday. Why not? Well, the fish market closes every second Wednesday. So there's a good chance you'd be eating yesterday's catch. Weaving down a Tokyo back street before lunch can really get your stomach grumbling. Lying in wait outside every restaurant are windows of temptation laden with perfect plastic replicas of their meals. Copycat cuisine has become an art form in itself. After a slice of silicone sashimi, or even some pretend plastic pasta, just find the giant chef and follow Tokyo's restaurateurs down the streets of Kappabashi town. If you can eat it, they'll model it. From beer to bread, cuts of beef, even the humble hot dog is immortalized in plastic. You want fries with that? This is the fake food showroom proving that presentation is everything. A spread of this plastic sashimi substitute could set you back $2,500. For a cheaper souvenir, well, you really can't go past one of these sushi key rings. Tokyo never sleeps. There are more 24-hour convenience stores per square mile here than anywhere else in the world. And if you can't find one, well, there's always a vending machine nearby. Drinks? Check. Cigarettes? Check. A can of coffee, perhaps? Or a beer? What about some medicine? Herbal tonic? You can even pick up a set of fashionable fingernails. In Japan, the humble vending machine is always at your service. From the country that brought you hi-fi, high-def, and high-tech comes the latest in innovative technology. Welcome to the Super Bowl, the futuristic world of the Japanese toilet. People will pay up to $4,500 for the latest juiced-up John, which has an array of onboard electronics to rival the space shuttle. It starts with the self-raising seat, and the list of features is impressive. For a start, it's pre-warmed, and this caboose cleaning control panel helps guide an array of water jets and air dryers around your nether regions. Hands-free ultra hygiene. They even impregnate the porcelain with antibacterial substances. The leading toilet company is Toto. Their slogan? Even your bottom wants to stay clean. After sitting on this fabulous throne, your bottom would be very happy indeed. Tokyo hides many of its secrets beneath the hustle and chaos of its streets. But some secrets lie just beneath a shirt or suit. Horomono is the art of traditional Japanese tattooing. Far more than your girlfriend's name on the bicep or flaming skull on your chest, these intricate designs are based on ancient myths and legends, weaving the tales of dragons and gods across a person's chest, down their back and beyond.
People sometimes leave their skins because it is a work of art that the artists have engraven in your skin. And there are people in Japan who actually remove the skin after you're dead so that it can later be framed.
Horoshin is one of Japan's finest tattoo artists, tracing his skills to his father and his father's father. This colorful customer has spent 80 hours under the needle. Each visit is broken into two 40-minute sessions and costs around $300. There's around $18,000 invested in this human canvas, and he still needs another 8 hours of work to finish the job. And yes, that is blood, and yes, it does hurt. Few Westerners can commit to the time and expense of a traditional full-body tattoo. But Horoshin let us in on a secret. The master does do smaller designs for tourists, and his best foreign customers are young women. Every morning, while Tokyo's commuters prepare for the subway crunch, a different kind of crunch is looming. This is the early morning practice session at sumo school. This is a secret world. Our cameras were allowed in on very strict conditions. These warriors would not speak, and they were not to be approached at any time. Sumo wrestling is Japan's most popular traditional sport. Its stars are some of the nation's most revered sports heroes.
Sumo wrestlers are definitely sex symbols. They're often treated like pop stars. You read a lot about sumo wrestlers' love life. I mean, you wonder how they could have a love life, but they do.
This is actually called a sumo stable, where thoroughbreds train and lead lives of rigorous discipline. More like monks than professional sportsmen. There are no weight divisions in sumo. and they all aspire to be number one. These are the rookies of the stable, but before they are taught to win, they must learn humility. As they go through bouts, they are watched over by the stable master, himself a former star of sumo, now coaching a new generation to glory. Believe it or not, the biggest star at this stable is not Japanese. He is this guy, Henry Williams, an American from St. Louis. In Japan, he is known as Sentoryu. These training sessions are rich in tradition and have the air of a secret society. Here Sentoryu is putting a young wrestler through the cruelest of initiations. He will taunt and humiliate the man, who is at the point of exhaustion. But to give up is to lose face. A ticket to a sumo event can cost up to $500. However, the secret is a tourist here pays nothing. All it takes is a courteous phone call to the stable master, the right manners and words of respect, and, depending on his mood, the doors will open. How do they get so big? Behind every champion sumo is a champion kitchen. Here, the stable master oversees one of his personal recipes for a meal called shankanabe. It even sounds like a mouthful. Shankanabe is a hearty stew of vegetables and meat that packs on the pounds, but also keeps the fighters healthy. Every stable has its own closely guarded secret recipes. The shopping bill for these boys is astronomical. In the old days, parents would put big-eating sons into a sumo stable because they couldn't afford to feed them. But shankanabe isn't just a favorite of sumos. Close to each stable, you'll find a shankanabe restaurant where these monster meals are served up for the paying public. These restaurants, the stables, and the sumo stadium are all found in the place they call Sumo Town, the Tokyo suburb of Ryogoku. It's not hard to spot the sumo on these streets. If Tokyo was a living, breathing being, it would have money flowing through its veins. It's the lifeblood of the city. Surprisingly, gambling is illegal. And yet the game of pachinko turns over a staggering $300 billion a year. That's twice the size of Japan's entire car industry. It doesn't add up, unless you know the secret. The noisy, cantankerous love child of pinball and a slot machine started back in the 1920s. Now, pachinko is one of Japan's most popular pastimes. 20,000 of these parlors dot the country. They are loud, smoke-soaked, and addictive.
I like pachinko first because of the gambling aspect of it. But I also like playing against the machine, having a battle with the machine.
The player can The player can control the speed at which the silver balls are shot into the playing area. After that, it's pretty much up to chance. Here, people spend hours of their day playing to win prizes and cash. The currency of pachinko is these ball bearings, billions of them. You buy a certain number, send them bouncing through the machine, and if they fall in the right holes, you may win a jackpot of a few thousand more ball bearings. Remember, gambling for money is illegal in Japan, but the pachinko parlors have come up with an ingenious, legitimate loophole. These ball bearings are just like casino gaming chips. They have a dollar or yen value. Once you've had your winning balls counted, you take your receipt to the prize counter. The prizes range from cigarettes to electronic goods. But here's the trick. If you want to make money, ignore the other prizes. What you want are these little boxes. Each one has a worthless-looking token inside. But now it gets interesting. Take the box and the coin out of the pachinko parlor. Just around the corner, you'll find another counter. Often a mysterious doorway in a back alley. That's where you swap your prize for cold, hard cash. And that's how you really win at pachinko. Tokyo comes with a price tag, and it's not for the faint-hearted. In the home of the $10 cup of coffee, there's no shortage of ways to lighten your wallet. The premier shopping district is Ginza. Imagine Fifth Avenue meeting Rodeo Drive, add 10%, and leave your credit card at home.
If you want items that are prestigious, brand names, if you go to Ginza, chances are you'll find it.
This is the home of high fashion, high prices, and the high life. Here at the Ginza crossing, even the land has a preposterous price tag. The Ginza Komatsu building sits on a block that's worth about $140,000 per square yard. Now that's unreal estate. Over the road stands the benchmark of Tokyo money and prestige, the Wako department store. That's Wako, spelled W-A-K-O. The only crazy things here are the prices. At Wako, the wealthy elite of Tokyo can shop in style. On these hallowed floors, you can drop $250,000 in one hit. And if you'd like a matching set of earrings for that ring, ouch, there goes another $100,000. Wako is famous in Japan for its clocks. Top of the range here will set you back $10,000. Or if you can scrape up a spare 200 grand from the back of the couch, you might wrap your wrist in this Seiko diamond-encrusted watch. Yes, Tokyo can have some of the most expensive shopping in the world, but there are secret spots to give your aching credit card relief.
Ameyoka Markets is somewhere you can go to pick up a cheap bargain. If you want to buy souvenirs or clothing, food items without paying very much, Ameyoka Markets is the place to go. It's huge, it's got many, many, many stalls, very, very colorful.
The name Ameyoka translates to American Alley because these shopping streets began life as a black market after the Second World War. In those days, the demand was for liquor, cigarettes, chocolates, and especially American nylon stockings. Today it's all above board, but the price tags are still low as the jumble of street-side sellers compete for the attention of the local bargain hunters. Chocolate is still a favorite, but even big-name foreign brands can be found at discount prices here. But when you think about shopping in Japan, it's electronics that leap to mind. While the rest of the world struggles to program their VCRs, the Japanese race ahead with newer and more astounding devices. Tokyo isn't necessarily cheaper than Hong Kong or Singapore. The secret here is getting your hands on the latest gadgets before the rest of the world does. The place to do that is the Akihabara Electronics District. Here, hundreds of shops sell a dizzying array of devices. If you can plug it in or put batteries in it, you'll find the latest model in Akihabara. There's a good secret to shopping success in Akihabara. Find a model that's just been superseded, then play one shop off another. They'll be keen to offload old stock, and you may just hit gadget gold. One of the best places to keep your eye on the future is back in Ginza at the famous Sony showroom. Spread over 6 floors, this is high-tech heaven. Rising through the levels, you'll encounter a digital dreamland of gadgets that might be months, even years ahead of what's in your local electronics store. This is the absolute state-of-the-art in computers, cameras, PDAs, sound equipment, home cinemas. All in a setting that feels more Starship than showroom. On the top floor is a secret paradise for video game fanatics. Here, gamers can play the latest PlayStation games on the newest consoles, all on huge, flat plasma TVs. Some games are Japan only. Others are available to play weeks before they're released. This is the only place in the world where you can get to experience the absolute cutting edge in video games before anyone else. We've come a long way from Space Invaders, another Japanese invention which first got the world addicted to video games way back in 1979. In another corner of the Sony building, our entertainment future has a decidedly different face. Meet Aibo. This is Latte, and this is Macaroon, the latest in robotic pets. These computerized critters are more than pretty faces. They respond to 75 different voice commands, express different emotions, carry an onboard digital camera, and can even kick a ball. More than what a real pet can do, without the mess. Fun? Yes. Cute? Maybe. Useful? Definitely not. And at a cost of $850, these robot rovers are the ultimate executive toy. And guess what? The robot toy invasion is just beginning. When night falls on the frantic buzz of Tokyo, life does not slow down. The Japanese take their famous work ethic and apply it to play. And here's where a bit of local knowledge can go a long, long way. Hidden away from the main strip in quiet alleyways are dozens of secret bars. This is the Golden Gai District, a place which gives new meaning to the word minibar. In here, 6 is company, 10 is a crowd.
Yeah, she's really shy.
Oh, yeah?
For our host Shino, the intimate atmosphere of Shadow Bar is his aim. Loud, busy crowds can look elsewhere. They can't fit for a start. And here's a secret. These bars were once waiting rooms for houses of ill repute, but as the red lights dimmed, they became the home of Tokyo's bohemian artists.
In this quarter, there are many particular clients. For example, artist, a photographer, and writer, and director of cinema, and cyclist, and flamenco dancer.
His bar even offers a dubious special for slender young ladies. The deal is, add your age to your weight in kilograms. If that adds up to less than 80, your drinks are on the house. One of Japan's most famous entertainment exports is karaoke. While the rest of the world is still performing the public execution style of karaoke, where you stand red-faced before a bar full of people, in the birthplace of karaoke, they've moved on. Now you get a group of friends together and book into a private karaoke box, confining any embarrassment to close colleagues. According to the latest census, literally every second person in Japan does this on a regular basis. As a favored leisure activity, it ranks higher than watching TV or listening to music. It's that popular. And being sticklers for hygiene, regulars use their own personalized microphones. The secret is these are some of the cheapest watering holes in the city. Belting out a few heartfelt hits over some bargain beers is often the best way to start an adventure into the Tokyo night. Drinking on the cheap is not the objective for the high-ranking Tokyo businessman. He may prefer an exclusive club like this. It costs a cool $100 just to get through the door. After that, you'll be needing a strong drink and a stronger bank account. Regulars buy bottles of the best scotch from the bar, then leave them in this bottle keep. Their names are written on the tags. The average bottle is worth $400, but if you really want to make a splash, this cognac sells for $4,000 a bottle.
You have ladies actually coming to sit next to you, and they will pour the drinks for you. They'll do a general chit-chat if you wish, or if you want to do some business, they can just sit in the background and pour the drinks for you. But before you say it's a sexist society, there is ones for women as well. Ladies, you can come to Japan and you can go to one of these places where men will pour the drinks for you as well. As a matter of fact, you can even choose the men. And you can say, I want this man, and this man to come to the table. Of course, for a price, they will come and pour you your drinks.
Deeper into the Tokyo night, the young, the fashionable, and the wild rule the evening. The nightclub scene in Tokyo is as hot and fast as New York or London. Most people don't drive in Tokyo. Between midnight and 5 a.m., the subways are closed. So the youth of this city just stay out. This is a club called Yellow. It closes at 6 in the morning. But that won't stop this dance party. Around the corner, a club called Maniac Love opens at 6 in the morning. This is Tokyo at its most uninhibited. The youth of Tokyo let loose from the pressures of life in the megalopolis, a lifetime away from the legions of workers who will be donning their suits and ties in a few hours' time. Amidst the pace, noise, and pedestrian stampede of Tokyo, there are oases of calm, places where ancient spirits rest, and modern spirits can take stock. Throughout the city, traditional Buddhist and Shinto shrines hide in pockets of calming Japanese gardens. Here, a busy Tokyoite can pass through, take a quiet breath, and make an offering to the gods. Some shrines protect the entire city. At others, a prayer and offering could bring good luck in business or exams, family health, or safe childbirth. While modern Tokyo has been built on the altar of business and chasing the yen, these shrines are a reminder of the old ways and values, ways that remain at the core of Japanese society. Just outside the calm of this inner-city shrine, modern Tokyo roars forward, not at odds with tradition, in harmony with it. The West has learnt and taken much from the Japanese, from sushi rolls to compact cars and the Walkman. But as the planet blasts into an increasingly complicated, crowded, and high-tech new century, Japan still holds many more secrets and lessons for us. Because as we brace for the future, Tokyo is already there.